Welcome to the Orana podcast, a show about what you will find, what you will not find in the Cook Islands. And now here's your host, Chantal Napa.
Orana kia koutou katoto, noko nei ia mātou I te Kuki Airani. I'm Chantal Napa. Welcome back to Orana podcast. Let me tell you a story about our guest today, Miss Mata Puia. Mata was born here in Rarotonga, and then in the 1980s, her parents immigrated to New Zealand. She studied IT in the early 2000s, has worked for Australia and New Zealand government, including private sectors within the IT industry. I first met Mata in Sydney, Australia around 2005. Two young, single Cook Islands women, a social friendship began. With Mata in the IT industry back then, she was earning Australian $50 an hour at the time, much to my awe and admiration, of which I am appreciative, as Mata was so generous that she almost always paid for our evenings out together. Back in October 2019, Mata decided to move back to Rarotonga for a break from the corporate lifestyle and to spend time with her father, who was turning 80 at the time. A month later, Mata, do you remember what you said to me? I loved being home, the lifestyle, and decided to start an IT company called Raro IT Solutions. So can you please bring us now from 2019 to 2022, Mata, and tell us how you've been?
Oh, I've been great. I've been fantastic. The borders are open now, so there's a lot of excitement on the island, and just really looking forward to getting back into business, meeting new people, just watching everyone make the most of the economy now. It's good to see people all making money, just meeting a lot of friendly tourists on the island. It's been fantastic.
And this is the second time you've been on my show, because in 2020, thank you so much. So you come home in 19, this is what I remember, about December, right? Or November. Oh, no, it was October, because your dad was turning 80.
Yep, turning 80.
In December 2020, which is why you came.
2019, yep.
2019, that's right. Then you decided to stay. We had the birthday for your father. And then in March 2020, COVID hit the island. And I remember coming over to your house and going, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And you said to me, there's anything I know about you, Chantal? What did you say?
There's anything I know about you, Chantal. You've always hit rock bottom, but you've always managed to go up, because there's nowhere else you can go but up.
So we sat at your house and we were about 2 meters apart because of social distancing at the time. Yeah. And you were like, it'll be all right. You got this. And then 2 or 3 months later, I come back to you and I go, Mata, I'm starting a podcast.
That's right. Yes. And I did say, see, I told you.
And because you're an IT person with experience, you knew what that was. Because back in 2020, May, when Hayden and I launched Orana podcast, not many people in the Cook Islands knew what a podcast was. And then I asked you to please be a guest on my show, and you spoke about your Turina batch.
Airbnb, yeah.
Your Airbnb, your Turina batch. So for those of you listening, there is another show with Mata here on our show, and look it up. It's Turina batch, and she's got a little Airbnb batch. And then in that episode that we recorded with you, Mata, I didn't know that you described Muri as the something strip.
Hollywood strip.
Hollywood strip, where your batches.
Yes.
And then I was like, true. I called it the Golden Mile, right? I called it the Golden Mile. And so that's where your batches, right? And today we are going to talk about your new venture that you started as well during COVID. And why? Because of the lactose intolerance. So go for it, please. Tell us about Boba Inu.
So, good on everyone. So as Chantal mentioned, I moved back in October 2019. Basically, with my background, I have IT background. So I was educated in New Zealand, got my bachelor's degree there. Then I moved to Australia and climbed the corporate ladder in Sydney and Brisbane. Then I moved back to Auckland and I worked about 5 years there working in private and corporate organizations there. Then, like anyone else, I think I was going through a midlife crisis, doing the 9 to 5. I decided, look, I just want to get away, go back home to Rarotonga, celebrate my dad's 80th and take a 4-month break. However, during that 4-month break, I guess it was like 1 month into living here, I fell in love with the place. I made my decision that I wanted to move back home. I had to seek approval from my parents to see if they were okay, and also with Chantal, because I've been friends
wanting to come home here
yes
for ages, and we all said to you for like 10 years, no, you're making big money overseas. No,
that's right.
Not yet. You're still young.
That's
still
right.
young, because I mean, long time we've known each other.
Yeah.
I was like, no, you're not coming back yet. Make those big bucks, build a home over here.
Yeah.
Right. And so pretty much when you said to us in 2019, this is what she means, everyone get my approval as one of her longest friends here. It was like, you know what, Mata, I hear you. And we've been saying to you now for 10 years, no. But you're tired. You said you were tired of that corporate,
Yeah. I guess I kind of did it, some of us there, some of these that are listening, my parents were your typical average Joe parents where, they will always go to school, get good grades, get a good job, buy your house, get married, have children. And I did that. And after I did that, I thought, okay, I've done it. I've climbed the corporate ladder. I worked my way up to being a test manager and a project manager for the government, and I was kind of just sitting in my office going, okay, is this what I'm going to be doing till I retire at the age of, I think 65, you get your pension. And I just thought, no, this isn't the end for me. This isn't where I want to be or stay.
And you've been nearly working 20 years in that industry as well.
Yeah.
So just putting that in for the listeners, you didn't make a 2-year decision. And you'd built the house over here.
Yeah.
You'd done it. Because we said build a house over here, and you did.
Yeah. No, that's correct.
Continue, please. Yeah.
Just got a
phone call because you're important.
I'm so busy, guys. Honestly, I'm putting my phone on silent right now to vibrate so we don't get disrupted again. So that was basically my story of coming back. Got everyone's approval to move back, and I established my IT company called Rara IT Solutions. So what we do there is I specialize in IT consultancy, project management, and also software and web development. However, coming to the islands, what I first did was I met with every IT expert here on the island, and I wanted to know what all their strengths were. Because the last thing you kind of want to do is, sort of step on everyone's toes. And so I did that, and I realized that there was actually a gap in IT consultancy and project management. So I focused more on that space where I go and attend clients here. I liaise with business requirements on how they want to build a website or how they want to implement a new system to improve their business productivity, increase revenue. So I did that. My first big project was with the Cook Island News website, which went successfully, and that's where you can pay for a subscription. Also place an ad in the paper or on their website online as well, and all you have to do is pay via your debit or credit card. However, as Chantal mentioned, COVID hit us. So as you can see, most of my clients weren't making any money. So I had to quickly adapt to the economy, and I moved into the bubble tea business because I saw that the food and drink industry was still making good money because everyone still had to eat and drink. The idea about bubble tea is because I'm actually lactose intolerant and gluten intolerant, and my bubble tea drinks are actually dairy-free, gluten-free, and vegetarian. They're also good for people who suffer with non-communicable diseases as well. So we can control the sugar in our drinks, and we can also control the tapioca balls, which is called boba. We can also control how much we put into the drink as well.
And there wasn't one here at the time. And we're only talking 2020 because you opened it in January 2021. The idea of your bubble tea shop fruition came.
Correct.
You called it Boba Inu because of the boba tapioca pearls, and Inu means to drink in our Cook Islands language.
Correct.
And then, like you just said, dairy-free, gluten-free, vegetarian, and you brought it in for you because you couldn't find a drink other than Nu.
Correct.
Other than our beautiful Nu.
Yeah, and I used to envy everyone who could have milkshakes and thick shakes, and yeah, I couldn't drink that.
Yeah. And and it's gone off. Like, you're TikToking away with Boba Inu. You've got a great crew. Please tell everyone though, Mate, how you had $500 to start that.
Oh yeah, so as we mentioned, I launched Boba Inu in the midst of COVID peak times. It was in June 2021. I guess I was a bit lucky because the borders did open for a couple of months, but the COVID cases were increasing so that we had to shut our borders again
in August.
But I guess lucky for me because it was a new thing on the island. A lot of the locals were supporting the business. Kids are absolutely in love with it. And then, by my surprise, our government were giving out
grants to all
business
of us.
grants,
business grants to all of us.
To all of us, and also assisting us with wage subsidies. So I was blessed to have that money to actually open a store because my initial idea was to open a market.
Yes,
store.
we spoke about that. We went and did
Yeah.
a recon about it. We drove around Punanga. We talked about whether you did the market and set that up and where's a good spot in the market.
Right.
And then you got $5,000 from the business grant.
Yes.
Right, which a lot of us did in small business. I received that too. Thank you to our Cook Islands government. And you were like, I'm going to spend it all on this new idea, Chantal.
On opening a shop. So I skipped the market store and I went straight into investing it into a new store instead. Yeah. And on our opening day, which was on June the 6th, Queen's birthday, I had to pretty much stop the line 6 times because our girls just couldn't keep up with the orders. I guess opening the shop, you kind of can't estimate how much stock you have to order, right? So I thought, look, I'll just order 2,000 cups. That's 500 cups a week. That should last me a month. I actually sold out in 3 or 4 days. So then I had to close my shop and get some urgent stock delivered via the plane. Yeah, by air freight.
Which is going to cost you more.
Which cost me more.
Because the original numbers was boat delivery. I got a month. I'll do the next one.
Yeah. I got a month. I'll do the next one.
Freaking out.
No, it didn't go to plan. And I guess, when you do venture into any kind of business, you can only make estimates, right? But I definitely learnt my lesson there. And I was pretty much breaking even because I was bringing stuff via plane.
And remember the ice story.
Gosh.
Remember how you're spending so much money on ice?
Yeah.
And then one day, because you're accountant, you're the same as my accountant.
Yeah.
And then one day you were telling me, Chantal, you know what? I asked my accountant, how much money am I spending on ice?
Yeah. No, it was so funny. So
and she said this much. And you said, I'm gonna
buy an ice machine. That's right.
I'm gonna buy an ice machine.
So I think it was probably around September 2021, Business Link Pacific, we're offering out adaptation grants. So this is where businesses suffered from COVID and they adapted to another business. And that's how I fit that criteria. So I moved from Rarotonga IT to the bubble tea shop. And they gave me up to $10,000 so that I could purchase my own ice machine and also to get a sealing machine so we could reduce our plastic lids and also to provide me with a business mentor. to help me with more strategic planning and marketing and business continuity. Sorry. And that's been fabulous. I was so grateful that they had that platform for us to apply for, and I know yourself, you also applied for it too. So
I did.
Congratulations to us.
Yeah, but mine, like, not about me, but like I applied the first time and was unsuccessful, and then I applied the second time, I think. And then, but then, I was like, applied again, and I was successful. And it feels hard at the time because you go internal. Woe be me. Why did I not get that? I'm an amazing person.
Yeah.
And then
my idea is
fantastic. And then like you, I went off and got myself a business mentor, John Tierney, about June, July 2021, because I needed help.
Yeah.
And he helped me be successful.
Yeah.
So just like, yeah.
So after I got the BLP, the ice machine cost me about probably with around $2,000, and it's including freight and VAT as well to bring that in. And I asked my accountant, I said, can you tell me how much I've spent on ice for the last 6 months? And she said I spent around $5,000-$6,000 just on ice.
I know.
She said I could have brought 3 ice machines.
But you didn't, but at least you thought about it 6 months into it, not 6 years into it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now you make your own ice.
Yeah, now I make my own ice, and now I'm finding that it's not big enough, so I need a bigger ice machine. Well, that's good. That's good news. That's good problems to have at the moment.
Yeah. And where you at now that we're in July, a year later? You just had your 1 year birthday with Boba Inu.
Yeah. So we celebrated our 1 year birthday, which was fantastic. We're promoting Big Mac burgers and fries with our drinks and
which
donuts.
You made yourself. Please tell everybody.
Yes. So funny story. Here in the Cook Islands, you kind of have to dip into everything.
And we don't have a McDonald's, everyone listening.
Yeah, we don't have a McDonald's.
We don't have a McDonald's here. So Mata decides she's going to make her own version of it.
My 11-year-old son, he was missing McDonald's. I was missing McDonald's. So we thought, hey, let's try and perfect the Big Mac sauce. So for 6 months, we've been trying to perfect the sauce, and we finally perfected it. And then thought, hey, look, let's share this out with everyone, and we promoted it on our first birthday. But no, it was fantastic. We had a lot of kids there. We had the colouring, face painting. We had the Big Macs going off. We had kids' movies playing in the shop as well. Beautiful music, awesome music. No, it was fun. It was great.
Your TikTok Boba Inu platform?
Yeah.
My 10-year-old, Desiree, as you know and love, you've known since birth.
Yeah.
Mom, Auntie Mata's team's doing this. Mom, Auntie Mata's team's doing this.
It's so funny. I'm so old school, and I'm kind of like, no, Facebook is enough for me. I don't want to go on Instagram, and I don't want to go on TikTok. I only can keep up with Facebook. But it was actually my staff, because they're my target audience, teenagers and kids. And I had college children working for me after school, and they suggested it, telling me, Auntie, you should jump on TikTok, you should jump on Instagram. That's where all the kids are. So I jumped on it, and now everyone knows who Boba Inu is, and they know the name of my staff. And, every time I walk around the island, kids are pointing at me going, Mommy, Daddy, there's Boba Inu. So no, it's fantastic, and it's a lot of fun. We enjoy doing it, as well. That's the brand.
I suppose for you it would be fun too, because it's a different demographic to your professional world. You're still doing that professional world, right, with professionals, but I suppose it's like a nice release for you to come into your shop, and there's a different young demographic, because I always say, and this came from an uncle of mine, that children keep us young.
That's right. No, that's absolutely right. So, working at the desk, it's more professional. And then when I walk into Boba Inu, it's like my childness is coming out of me, and it's a lot more fun than sitting in front of the desk.
I've driven in there, right? Because like my nieces in Orana, they love your product as well. And they range from 10 12 and 16 or 17, right? My
Mhm.
nieces. Auntie, we're all going to Boba Inu. I said, you're going to drive a quarter of the way around the island and then my two. Oh, Mum, can we go too, please? So we walk in with 5 children, right? 2 10-year-olds, a 11-year-old, a 13. And I'm like, I just drove a quarter of the way around the island to bring you $50 all my life, $10 for each drink. And you're like, Chantal, you're not my target audience. Okay. They are. I'm like, oh, I know they are because they convinced me to drive all the way here to get a boba and a drink.
I know. I remember talking to your mother, Chantal, and I said, oh, Happy New Year, Auntie. And she's like, did you know my grandchildren are spending $10 for your drinks? You know, I told them go buy a new. It's only $2.50. No, they want to go to Boba Inu and buy that $10 drink. I was like, oh, okay, yes. Happy New Year to you too, Auntie.
But it's all that social media around it because they are watching this. They want to be that Boba Inu TikTok girl, like your staff, right?
Yeah.
And so they think they buy that drink and they're part of that club. So it's that marketing sort of awareness thing too, right?
Yeah. And I guess with our TikToks, we try and bring something different. You know, we have our own sort of brand image that we're bringing. So we're always throwing in effects and different things. And we're always keeping up with the TikTok trends. So if there's a trending song, we always try and do it. But we also bring our own style to it. So it's not just standing there and doing it. We actually have to step it up.
I've had to watch
level.
some of yours because my daughter shows me, right? I love that one you did with your son once, sitting in the car, right? I had to watch it a few times even because I know your son, like from birth as well. And I'm laughing at you two, right? In this TikTok. So, no, I mean, you got it, Mara. I remember once too where you said, don't listen to anybody, Chantal, just give it a go. Which is what you did.
Yeah.
Just give it a go.
Yep. That's my best advice for everyone. If you've got a great idea, you know, just try it out. Start small. Just start small. When I first opened up the Boba Inu shop, I only started with the top 5-6 flavors, the most popular flavors that we're selling in my suppliers in New Zealand. So I asked them what are the top 6 flavors. And they gave me those flavors. And I said, look, I'll just start with that. And now today, I think we have over 30 flavors.
Look at that. In 1 year.
In our shop. So we're always bringing out new exciting flavors all the time. And the beauty about our drinks is you can sort of mix and match. So you can actually say, oh, look, I want half of this, half of that. Our total vanilla with the mango boba is really popular. And also with our fruity drinks.
So you do a taro, which is like our local taro plant flavored drink.
Yeah. So the taro flavor, it was my favorite flavor, hence why I use the color purple in my logo and in my shop, was because taro was always my favorite flavor. And it's our top seller here, and also our taro vanilla, where people are mixing it, mixing half and half flavors, and they all work and they're all really nice.
But you got to eat, 30 flavors. Far out, Mata.
Yeah.
30 flavors. Can you tell everybody where you are in town for listeners that are coming in, you know, on the planes and where they can find you in front of the Cook Island?
So I'm actually located in town. I'm next to Villy's Golden Walks and in front of Cook Island News, next to McLeod Pearl Shop. So you'll see a big purple sign. If you're heading from Muri into town before the cinema, I'm just there on your left.
Mm-hmm. And I like how your mentor also said to you, see, I know you so well, my dear friend. Remember, he said, why are you opening at this time? And then you two realized that your target audience, so you changed your opening times.
Yeah. I guess coming from an agile background, you know, I'm always all for trying things. So when we originally opened, we did 10 to 6. And when I got my mentor, he said to me, well, your target audience are children. Why are you opening at 10? They're at school. And I said, that's actually a good point. So I adjusted my times to 12 to 8 just to suit more my target audience. Another exciting thing I have happening is because, as Chantal mentioned, she has to drive all around the island to come and see me. we're actually expanding our business and putting our free tea drinks in the supermarkets and the shops, so people won't have to drive around the island to come to us, especially now that petrol's gone up.
Yes.
And also with our creamy flavors like the taro, mango, honeydew, etc. We're looking at packaging those where people can make it at home for their friends as well. So
Fun.
yeah, it's going to be an exciting
So it's
year
going to be
for
in the
us.
stores around.
It's going to be in the stores,
Congratulations,
in the
Mata.
shops. Then we'll look at shipping them out to the Painua.
Oh, I'm so proud of you.
Thank you, babe. I'm proud of you too.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. So is there anything else that you'd like to say, Mata, before we sort of close up today? Any advice, suggestions, Cook Islanders wanting or thinking of returning home?
Yeah, guys. So just recently, I got nominated as the new BPW president. So BPW is Cook Islands Business Professional Women's Association. So jump on their Facebook page as well. You can follow me on there. That's a great platform where you can mix and mingle with other women in business or professions
in the Cook Islands.
In the Cook Islands. And you can also keep up to date on what we're doing there in that space with my amazing committee, new executive committee that I have there. And yeah, follow me on Boba Inu Cook Islands. We have a Facebook page, Instagram page, and a TikTok page. And if you want to follow the Raro IT Solutions space, then I have a Facebook page as well.
So what would be the hardest thing you experienced moving home, deciding to stay here in December, 2019, 3 years later, as a returnee Cook Islander who's now, you've been coming home for ages, but for those thinking of coming home, what was one of the hardest things that you encountered? I think moving back home.
Yeah. I think the hardest thing is, and I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that, it was the money. It was the money, because you can't make the same money here than what you can in Australia or New Zealand. As Chantal mentioned, I was on a 6-figure salary, and I knew there was no way I could make that same money here on the Cook Islands unless I become the Prime Minister. Not saying that I'm going to be the Prime Minister. Don't know.
Yeah, you were on 6 figures.
Yeah,
and you walked away from it.
Yeah, and I walked away from it, and I guess that's the hardest part for people when they're wanting to move here is more on the money side. But look, guys, when I moved here, my mother, she was always like, no, go back. You're making good money there. You can't make that money here. But my best advice to everyone is come up with a really good business idea. If you really want to make that money, you've really got to think of a really good business idea. Come with something original. Don't come with something that we already have here. If someone's making burgers, then unless your burger is McDonald's or something like that, or different, then yeah, but you really got to think of a really unique business idea that doesn't exist here, that really will benefit our people as well, and also just making sure that you come back and get involved in the community, give back, help out, and you'll do really great here. You'll do absolutely great here. But yeah, if you think you can come from a 6-figure salary and then get a job getting that, then yeah, you'll be majorly disappointed. So yeah, that's my suggestion. And don't worry, don't stress. The greatest thing here about the Cook Islands is we all support each other, and we give so much aroha to each other, and we all uplift each other, and we all encourage each other, to do well here, because we want to encourage our people to come back home. Come back home. All the skills and knowledge you learned overseas, bring it back home. We need you. Yeah. We definitely need you, and we're here waiting for you and waiting to support you.
I like that. Thank you. Meitaki.
Meitaki.
It's been a genuine pleasure as always. I'm so grateful to you sharing with me. Thanks to our listeners. Noko ni ia mātou. Aroa ia tu kia kotoka totua. Kia orana. May you live long, Airera means farewell. And kia manuia, good luck and good health. Bye for now. Thank you, Mata.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.